Okay. So gradient very important concept, has a few formulas. At the moment, you've learned, I guess, this one, right? And when do we use that? When we are given 2 points, right? Think about what you've done. You were given 2 points, like 3 and 2, and B, 6 and 5. And that became your x1, y1, x2, y2, and then you were able to find your gradient, right? Someone confirm that's fine in that form?
Yes.
Given 2 points. Now, easier than that is meant to be this formula. Rise over run. So Chloe, when I said that, you had no idea what I was saying.
A little bit, but like it didn't like ring a bell or anything.
Fair enough. Okay, so yeah. So the formula for your gradient before this red one should have been rise over your run. That's your gradient formula as well. In fact, gradient has about 5 or 6 formulas you're going to learn in by the time you're in year 11. So there's a lot of them. But right now we're going to use these two. So this one you would use when there's 2 points. This one you use when there's a right angle, has to be a right angle triangle. And then it's just literally your rise over your run. Right? Your gradient is actually just a slope. Your gradient is just slope. So it's sloped to the right. You know, think of a hill that you had to walk up and it's sloped like this. It's not going to be as easy as something that's sloped like this. That's a lot easier to walk on. So your gradients are just slopes. So think of them as elevations. So this one hasn't elevated at all. It's flat, whereas this has been elevated up. All right. Rise over run. If your gradient, if your line, last thing that you need to know, if your line is sloped to the right, then it's positive. If it's sloped to the left, it's negative. So slope to the left, negative, slope to the right, positive. Just write a few notes down. Pretty much the most important note is gradients is equal to rise over run. And then if it's sloped to the right, it's positive. Slope to the left is negative. And then ask me any questions, please. Matt, what are you writing still?
No, I'm all good.
So for this one, Matt, what do you reckon? Is the gradient of the line positive or negative? Is this one positive or negative?
Negative, sorry.
Yes, that's right. That one's a negative. Matt, what about the next one?
Positive.
Good. Next one.
Positive.
And last one.
Negative.
Good. So you understand the positive and negative.
Yeah.
Now, one last thing I'm going to say before we actually get to this formula. This one's the stronger one, by the way. So this one here is flawless. This one here, because it's meant to be the first one you're meant to learn, which I skipped, it's not flawless. You have to do this positive and negative business that we're about to do soon. So this one's okay. This one's perfect. But this one works really well with 2 points. This one works well when you just got distances. Okay, so this one's okay. This is perfect, but this one can't work. This one can work all the time. It's just that you need 2 points. All right. So question 2, you can definitely use this formula. We're not going to, because I want to try to just do it by rise over run, but just giving you the heads up. You could do this and it'll never fail you. But let's just do it now, rise over run. So to do rise over run, you need to create a right angle triangle. There it is. Right? Can somebody tell me what the rise would be? Let me know if you need me to zoom in. But what's the rise? That's -2, by the way. What would be my rise?
Would the rise be -3?
Actually, good point. Rise and run specifically are always going to be positive because they're distances. The only thing that tells you negative is if it's sloped to the left or sloped to the right. But that's your last step. So your first step is to work out rise and run. Then you would look at its slope, if it's sloped to the left or sloped to the right. So your rise actually 3. So from -2 to 1, it's 3. You're rising 3. What's your run now? That's at -3. So -3 to 1. What's your run? -3 all the way to 1. What would be that distance?
Two.
No. From -3, so have a look at this number line. You want to get to 1. What's your distance from -3 to get to 1? How many jumps is that?
5.
No, 4. -3 to 1 is 4. So that's your rise and run is 3/4. And then because it's sloped to the left, the answer would be -3/4. Is this confusing you guys? I feel like it is. Is it?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.